Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Man, people are so sensitive. So, when I say sensitive, I mean to the point like, are you kidding me? The name of the podcast is literally called Success and Motivation in the No Comfort Zone, a reality check. So if I put some realisms out there, and if I say that if you're fat, if you're lonely, if you're broke and you're miserable, like I did on one of my podcasts, why is everybody getting so pissed off? I mean, think about it for a minute. If you listen to a podcast like this, I know you're not perfect. I ain't perfect, and I'm telling you this, and I'm going to tell you again, and I'll keep telling you until you get it. You need to start failing big if you want to be successful, and I'm failing big in a lot of areas of my life, and I'm experiencing success. And what do I mean by that? Hey, sports fans, in case you didn't know this, I've told you I'm 5'9", I'm 220 pounds, and I want to be 185 pounds, and by every definition, according to healthy, I'm fat. But if you look at me and if you see me in person, I don't look fat, but I am fat. And you know what? I don't care what you say about what you think fat is or what you don't think fat is. I don't have any acceptance issues with who I am. I know what it's like to weigh 185 or at least under 200, and I felt great, phenomenal, and fantastic. Do I want to be overweight? Think about it for just a minute for full transparency. I am known as the No Comfort Zone guy. What I'm really known as right now is I'm the hypocrite guy because I've got comfortable being fat. That's my whole point. So I'm not calling out fat people. And if you're fat, you're fat. I can't do anything about it. And if you're at that point and you want to do something about it, the blueprint will help you. But if you're okay being fat and overweight, then that's great for you. That's good for you. Look at it from a health point of view. If you want to change your reality, if you do want to change your reality, then you have to ask yourself a question. Are you willing to change your reality for yourself and other people? Because I'll tell you this, you could be happy and fat and 55, but if you die of a heart attack, guess what? You're no good to your wife, you're no good to your kids, or better yet, like this almost happened to me. So I'm taking some medication prescribed by a doctor. I overindulge in the medication. I go in because, guess what? My wife is looking right at me and I don't recognize her. True story. You can call her up and ask her. I'm looking right at her and I start to get worried because I have no idea who the woman is sitting in front of me. Folks, this is 2011. Think about that, 2011. Not long ago. We're in 2020 right now. I think it's Valentine's Day. By the way, happy Valentine's Day to all of you lovely people out there. But it's 2011, and I go to the ER, and they say that I'm on the verge of a stroke. My hemoglobin was so high that they had to withdraw blood and put me on blood thinners and do a bunch of stuff right away. So they had to take, and why was it? Because I was overweight, I was out of shape, I had all these other issues going on. And guys, that's what I'm trying to tell you is that I got so comfortable in my life that taking the medication from this doctor, doing what everyone's telling me to do, but not really doing things my own way, was jeopardizing my overall health. Now, if you looked at me back in 2011, which, I'm pretty healthy back then. So in 2009, I was extremely healthy. But 2011, I had issues going on, didn't even know it. So when I finally met with, here's what they told me when I was in there. They said, get off of the weight training supplements like the pre-workout. I had to stop that. They said, get off of I was on something else that caused my hemoglobin to get really bad, and get off of that. And they said other things. Oh, I know what it was. I was prescribed testosterone. Like if you have low testosterone, because I was in my 40s and I was lifting heavy weights, they told me that was the cause of it, testosterone. Prescribed by a doctor, by the way. And all the other stuff I was putting my body through. But the truth be told is, as I was working out and trying to get healthy, the fact is my blood was getting really bad. I missed a couple of doctor's appointments to get my blood checked. My fault, not the doctor's fault. And what ended up happening was I was on the verge of a stroke, and that's why I couldn't recognize my wife, and I had issues going. So it was right before I had a stroke, and they were able to figure it out. If my wife had not taken me to the hospital, it would have been a different story. I would have stroked out. So I was called into the doctor's office shortly after, and he gave me I got the best doctor in the world, by the way. He tells it like it is. With a sad look in his eyes, he goes, I made a mistake by prescribing you that there. You don't need it. It could jeopardize you. I just had another young man who was doing the same thing in his 30s, who full stroke, and now he's in recovery. That's not going to happen to you, so I'm putting it in your chart. You can't take this anymore. So I had to deal with it. Did I really need it? No. There's foods you can eat. There's exercises you can do. There's things you can do to increase it. I took the easy way out, and I'm being transparent with you. So it's a bunch of crap and a bunch of BS, but the truth of the matter is I got comfortable, and I tried to find an easy way out. And when I look back over my life, I'm looking at all the times that I didn't deal with life on life's terms. So I decided to pick up the donut. I decided to give up. If I can't take this and do that, then what's the point? And I got really big, and that's why where I'm at. So don't come at me in my emails and tell me that I'm fat shaming people, because I'm not. I'm really not. And here, this goes out to the person that wants to be successful. If you've got the 4% body fat, and you're 8 feet tall and bulletproof, and you're knocking the ladies dead, and you got $1 million coming in your bank account, that's great. But the funny thing is those are some of the people that reach out to me and go, yeah, but I'm just not happy. That's what I'm talking about. Just because you look at somebody else and you look at where they're at in their life, as people have looked at me, doesn't mean anything. How do you feel about yourself on the inside? And that's what I do. I take what the Marines have done to me. They broke me down and built me up and made me part of a team, made me something bigger than myself, and committed to something. And I'm telling you, it was a huge impact on my life. Did I have fun? Absolutely. Some of the best friendships I've had, especially my man Brett, who we reconnected recently. There's a lot of great things that I can say about the Marines. There's a lot of hard things that we went through. Living in Okinawa, Japan for a year, I was homesick. I was miserable. I had somebody that I wanted to see back in the stateside. But I was out there and I made friends. And now today, I look back 30 years ago, how miserable I was at the time and trying to keep myself occupied. Drank a lot, worked out a lot, ran a lot, scuba dived a lot, and fought a lot. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of bar fights. But we had fun. And I look back at that now and man, what a great time in my life. And maybe you should do the same thing. Maybe instead of hitting me up and, saying that you don't like the way that I'm talking, don't listen to the podcast. Because the truth is that I'm not that controversial. If I made this a rated R podcast, I think I've sworn probably 10 times out of 187 episodes. And I don't mean to, sometimes it just happens and I don't want to edit it out because I try not to edit too much. But what I want to tell you is this, at some point, if you're acceptable with who you're at and where you're at in your life, you don't need this podcast. But if there's something inside of you that needs to be woken up, listen. This podcast might wake you up. And if you wake up and you realize, man, I just want to do something with my life. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. You know what? Let's do something. Let's start you getting to live life. Let's put together a bucket list. Let's start to identify why you feel the way you do. Let me throw you through the blueprint. Let me run you through it. Half-hour phone call, I'll change your life. Because I was asleep and now I'm woke up. I was half dead in a coma and now I'm out of it. And now I fell into a coma and was like that way for about another 10 years. And when I finally woke up, like in one of the podcasts I think I did about after an ass chewing, hey man, I just put myself through like my own boot camp. For 60 days, most disciplines I put on myself. And guess what? I'm better than what you're doing for me is what I talked about in the last. What can you do to me? Who are you to talk to me this way? Whether it's a spouse, whether it's a sibling, whether it's a child, whether it's somebody you meet at the grocery store, whether it's somebody that's in a past in your life, or whether it's a friend, you better be careful how you talk to me because guess what? No, I'm not going to come at you fighting. I'm not going to come at you swinging, but I'm going to come at you and let you know it's inappropriate. You better take a step back because I am worthy and I am worthwhile. And that's super important for people to understand is that you are worthy and you are worthwhile. And if I offended you by saying something along the lines of, if you're fat and you're miserable and healthy and broke, all I'm trying to do is strike a nerve to ask yourself the question, are you truly as happy as you should be? Are you as fit as you want to be? Do you have the money coming in that you need to have come in to have a good life? Because you do not need money to have a great life. I could be broke tomorrow and I'm happy where I'm at. I'll tell you this. The other night, my wife and I decided, because we work a lot, we decided to have dinner together. and we were both tired and we didn't want to make something. I'm trying to watch what I eat, but we had each 2 frozen burritos. We put them in the microwave. I poured myself a soda. I'm getting crazy now, huh? Made it with 2 burritos, 2 pieces of cheese, a Coke with some ice in it. And that was one of the best meals I've had in a long time, because I got to share it with my wife at about 9:30 or 10:30 at night. And it was just a great experience for us to sit down. Thoroughly enjoyed it. That was a priceless meal for us, and a lot of gratitude. And I'll tell you what, I thank God for that moment. Do I have to have the nice full dinner and all that stuff? Man, there's people that are going day by day and they're not eating. I think about that a lot. And me being overweight, you being overweight, whatever it is, we don't need to be overweight. Maybe it's time to put the fork down. Maybe it's time to look in the mirror. And yeah, maybe it's time to get out of your comfort zone and start living on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.